Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this morning. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm, okay? So, like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things, okay? Um, I want to express the importance of, hitting the Cash App or the Super Thanks. That helps to support the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay. I want to get a video in before go to my kickboxing class. I wanted to talk about Yo Gotti. Okay. Yo Gotti did an interview with Forbes, and I know a lot of people may think because I think that they just put it out, it looks like or put it on YouTube a day ago. Okay. It's got 38,000 views. But it just from listening to the man that was interviewing him for this, he says happy holidays. We're at the end of 2023, going into 2024. So evidently this interview was done in 2023, right before um this happened to his brother. Okay. So let's just keep that in mind, and we're going to do a review on it, and I'll be giving my take on this. Let's go in. It's a 30-minute interview. Okay. And I'll be stopping in and things of that nature. Let's go.
I feel good about it. I'm trying more and more to take it in the moment. That been one of my hardest challenges. I think being a hustler, because you're always trying to get to the next level. You're always trying to overdo what you've done before. You're always trying to keep what you have built on track, or to scale it to a bigger magnitude. So sometimes you don't get to feel it. You know what I mean, and enjoy it and live with it in the moment. So that's been one of my challenges that, I look back at pictures and I look back at videos years later and realize that like, oh, that was a dope accomplishment. That was a dope moment. But in the time, it was just another thing.
Yeah, he was just doing it in the middle of it. Yeah.
It was just another thing that I knew we had to knock down to keep going.
Yeah. You come well regarded. I mean, Sean Jay-Z Carter speaks very highly of you, right? I mean, Steve Stout speaks very highly of you. I can't find a person that says anything bad about Yo Gotti, and they always say how smart you are, how focused you are, and a lot to get into about your business personality and all that. But I also want to start here, right? Because in 2004, you said something interesting. I'm gonna read it. You said rap is 90% business, 10% talent. Yeah. We got talent, and the business is about staying around for a long time, working hard. That's what I came to do. That was back in 2004. Yeah. Here we are going into 2024. That's 20 years ago.
20 years.
As you sit here 20 years ago and you hear those words that you said in 2004, I mean, now you can feel it, right? You can say, God, look, we're in your crib, man. Look at this. This is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Does it feel like 20 years?
Nah, it don't feel like 20 years again. Like when you actively in it and you're not taking breaks and I don't really take vacations. I don't like everything is, even when you see me out the country, I'm still working on something. I'm still doing something. I'm making the trip multi-purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never, and when I say vacation, meaning like mentally, meaning where I put the phones away. I'm not taking calls. I'm not looking at emails. That never happened since I started hustling.
Yeah. That's why you got to take a cruise, right? I love cruises.
I took a cruise once, but
no Wi-Fi though.
Oh, you can buy a package.
I know you can, but that's
you can buy a Wi-Fi package. Nah, I was on the laptop checking in on the business.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta sit back and relax.
Yeah, I only been on one cruise. It was dope. I went on the Disney cruise with my kids.
Nice. I want to do that, Disney.
Okay, let me just say this. This $100 million, what's this? It said $100 million. I guess they're trying to say Gotti is worth $100 million, right? Um, hey, not to take anything away from Gotti, because I don't want to do that, because people just be saying I be hating. Okay, and I don't have a hater bone in my body. But we do understand that when they are put on these, it was the Kardashians exposed that or somebody in their camp that they pay to be put on these. I remember Forbes used to have a magazine. People have kind of gotten away from magazines now, and everything is digital. Okay, they would pay when you would see them because it made them more popular. When people thought that they were worth $100 million, um, it made their visibility um more in demand, having them visibly more in demand. They pay to be a part of stuff like that. This is how these magazines and these they're able to stay alive, keep their companies and stuff afloat um by people paying them with the credibility of their magazines and things of that nature to make them look good. Okay, because somebody came into my chat and was like, "You're lying in on Gotti." When I said that I saw Gotti post on his Instagram, of course, a lot of the stuff that they deleted, but I believe it was in his story. He says $100 million deal with, I believe, Interscope. We just knocked it out the park. Okay. So we do know when it's $100 million deal, that means they fronted him $100 million. That's when he started signing all of those artists. I'm not saying that he was supposed to use the money he had. Oftentimes that's what happens. They'll get companies to front them the money, and he started signing people like Big Papa or Lil Papa, whatever, and ESTG and all of them. Okay, so um anyways, let's move on. I kind of want to get to the meat, hold on, of the interview. Okay, let's
I
keep
did the
going.
Royal Caribbean, but
Leading, how when I was first sitting and coming up, but you just gotta adapt. You gotta adapt. You gotta understand. For me, each artist I ever work with is his own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like no two people the same. You got to know what motivate that person.
Now let me just say this, and I hate to continuously compare him and Young Dolph, but just looking at him do this interview is almost like he's trying to remember, and I really hate that it appears to me that the jealousy ran so deep because there are a lot of similarities. It seems to me that he admired Young Dolph because a lot of the things that Young Dolph had said in interviews he regurgitates now. Because Young Dolph had said when they was asking him about working with Key Glock, he said each artist, I work with them individually. I give them their own time. I work with one artist. I help them to be successful, and then I start working with another my next artist because each artist is different. I give them their own time. They have their own individualities. So this is kind of, I'm not saying that he's copying, but it's just kind of similar to what the late great Young Dolph said. But let's continue.
What's that person's strengths and weaknesses, our fears are? What gets them up and keep them going? What'll pull them down? You know what I mean? And as a mentor, because I feel like that's what I am to them more than anything is like a big brother or a mentor, and I got to help them accelerate those strengths and stay away from those things that demotivate them and make them feel like they can't be the biggest artist in the world. Because as an artist, I think confidence is your superpowers. And I think if you ever lose your confidence, it's over.
You do your thing and you do it well. Now it's time to do it bigger.
So how do you push your artist without killing their confidence? That's the art, I think.
How do you do it?
I think that's my own little trick.
Well, I mean, listen, man, take me back to that young Mario Mims, right? Again, I was talking to your mom, and wonderful, wonderful woman, man.
Yeah,
she was
great.
smiling as we were reminiscing about the Feli suits. You know, I used to come fresh, but she had a story about how she was always working, right? And then when she left her life and then she went to work at a store, and she would come home and she would be expecting y'all to be doing your homework, right? But here you are upstairs, and she was thinking you was doing homework, but here you are writing all these papers and jotting down, right? Take me back to that room where all that paper was on the floor and you was writing, and that young Muriel Mills was just discovering his craft. What were you doing?
Well, I was in love with hip hop, and I was trying to figure out how to critique my craft to be, something that was special that would cut through in the world where so many people was doing it. What was gonna make me different than everybody else that was doing it at my high school, or even just in my neighborhood? Like, what's gonna make me be special than the thousands of people that I was seeing that was trying to do it? Cause I used to be in school and they had what they call them, not battle rap, because we didn't battle rap where we from, but everybody rapped. I wouldn't consider battle rap because we weren't talking about each other, how they do that.
Just a little
on
crowd.
The East Coast. Yeah, but like where you kind of like in who got the best flow.
Yeah.
So, and there was a lot of guys in my school I thought had better flows, you know what I'm saying? So, and I had to be like trying to figure out how to come up with different flows so I'd be ready when we go back in the lunchroom.
Freestyles.
Yeah. But even before that, but that was just a thing. But before that,
Now, I always talk about in my vlog about how Yo Gotti, and I see he's trying to get more into being exec and get into being called Mario Mims. Cause see, I see they see now they put up now Mario Mims, AKA Yo Gotti. Um, he was sure to. I see that he focused on. We didn't have that battle rapping because, as I've always said, Yo Gotti and them understood that he's old enough to understand that rap was created from battle rapping. Uh, Yo Gotti, rather you say that North Memphis, North Side and stuff didn't have battle rapping. We didn't have that. We had flows. They still was checking. They still would check and make it out of a rap. That's what we called it, checking. Okay. So even still, when I talk about rap was created from battle rapping, and he already knew that hey, it was a healthy situation. I don't know, maybe he didn't mean anything when he said that, but I always put a lot of focus on that when I speak about him and this situation with Young Dolph, that rap was created from battle rap, and so he already knew to have thick skin, and it was never supposed to get this out of control. He's an okay. I'm not going, but regardless, okay, he and I are the same, around the same age. So it was some battle rapping going on. God damn it. Let's go.
I feel like my mom and my aunties put the
Okay,
value of nice things.
let's
G family, the big one.
The black one.
Yeah.
Over the lime green.
Yeah, it's like a fun car.
Yeah.
We do. I put together like car. I love cars, so I like to put cars together, different color coordinations, and do things that's different. You know what I mean? It's just my way of playing with cars. I was a Hot Wheel fan when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to collect Hot Wheels, and
Did you keep a little track with the cars?
I love cars, so that's one of my things.
Listen, Gotti, you can give us one of yours when we leave. Get your Christmas gift. You feeling in the holiday spirit, you know. But listen, man, jumping into the business again, CEO of CMG Records. When you look around, and I listened to a comment that Jermaine Dupri made, right? Jermaine Dupri, one of the more respected icons in music, and it was something he said earlier. He was asked about if Atlanta is still the center of music. And he says it feels like it's shifted to Memphis.
Yeah.
Atlanta's still great, but the talent pool is not what it once was from him.
Yeah.
But Memphis is where it's at now, right? You being where you are, positioned in Memphis, having CMG Records, artists down, coming from there, outside of there. But do you feel that that's true?
Yeah, I feel like the light on Memphis right now. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like their light moves. It was on Atlanta, it was on Houston. It's on Memphis right now. And I think probably what you're referring to is that, artists from Memphis nowadays, have a better shot likely of one of these major record labels picking them up. Yeah. When nobody looked at us at one point, everybody, went to Atlanta to look first. So I guess this is what he meant. You know what I'm saying? But I think Atlanta got dope talent. Memphis.
Now this was his opportunity to really it goes to show that he has a lot of disdain for his city. This was his opportunity to really flex as it relates to Memphis. Anybody else would have took that opportunity without taking it from anybody else. Okay. His eye went down. I watched people's movements, okay, and gestures. His eye kind of went down. He understands why the light is on Memphis. He helped to do that. He helped to do that with what they did to Young Dolph, right? So he understands why, which is why he wants to diminish it a little bit. Where he wants to move around. Now Memphis is the shit. There's a lot of talented young men in Memphis. Memphis has always been a trend-setting city. Regardless to how I feel about a lot of artists, it's just our dialect, the swag, just a lot of stuff. People have always stole things from Memphis to include Atlanta. I ain't trying to take nothing from Atlanta. I love Atlanta rappers. I love their dialect. I love what Honeycomb Brazy was doing. I was falling quickly in love with the Alabama dialect and swag that Honeycomb Brazy was pushing. And he had carried, and I'm not saying that there were not other um rappers to come out of Alabama that had not done great things, but I kind of felt like, just from what I can see, Honeycomb Brazy was putting that whole state on. Not just Mobile, but that whole state. But this was his opportunity. But Gotti has always, in my opinion, always tried to disassociate himself from Memphis, right? I always felt like Gotti felt like Memphis was just too hijacked. But yet you're jealous because Young Dolph represented. Young Dolph picking up artists out of Memphis, showing them the recipe, and completely represented as it relates to Memphis. Okay, let's continue on.
We just always had it just was overlooked for so long, but we always been great musicians. The history of Memphis, soul and stacks, and what I mean. Like, it's a music town, so we always had the music. People just didn't know. And then a lot of bigger cities would come, taking the flavor. You know what I mean? They would come and taking the flavor and putting their little sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And taking it national. So, but that's part of the game.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man. All the years I've been going to Memphis, I love it.
Well, I'm glad he did say that. Okay, I'm glad he did say that. Let's continue.
Just fried chicken, man. You get that authentic feel down there. The music and going to the clubs, like, you really feel it. When you look at Memphis today, right, in 2023, heading into 2024, what do you see?
It's my hometown, so I feel like they developing the city way bigger. They spending more money on the city than when I was coming up. You know, high rises, different hotels. From the music scene, again, there's way more opportunity for artists to have better shots to come out of that. But Memphis still just Memphis to me. Yeah. It's still just home. I know all the back roads, back streets. I know everybody. It's still just home to me.
Yeah. Again, into the business. When I say these names, man, just give me one word that pops to mind. Right? And I'll start with Master P.
Chris came to TurboTax because
I switched gears from delivering part-time to streaming full-time.
Hold on, y'all.
Legendary. Awesome.
Jay-Z.
Like JJ, to me,
one word, Gotti.
Go.
50 Cent.
50 Cent, legend.
Legend.
Let's move on.
Some turbulence before they eventually break. Jay and Rockefeller, the history's there. G Unit has some problems. You see the history. No Limit, same thing. Cash Money, same thing. How do you avoid that? How do you avoid the human being stuff that takes down empires?
I look at them as two different things, right? Because I look at them, when you talk about the human being things with me and my brotherhood, my artists,
And sisterhood too, you know.
Say it again.
And a sisterhood too with the women, yeah.
Yeah. With the artists, I look at that separate because no matter what happens, I hope that the relationship stays intact. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't just look out for my best interest. I look out for our best interest. So when I'm talking to my artists, I tell them, yo, this is what I'm gonna do, and this I'm gonna exit, and this is what I think you should do, and you should do this so that you move with me along the same side. So I feel like my job is to give you the game and give you the information on how we gonna do this, right? People could I help? How much more things I can learn to pass down? You know, that's the reason why I go back to school and do stuff like that.
Jim Collins, man, what a great.
Okay. Now, let me just, we kind of went through that together, and hey, I could be proud of the brother. Please don't get it twisted. And as I always said, we were always very proud of Yo Gotti, especially in the beginning, because I had relatives and stuff that hung out with Yo Gotti and them because they was out in the streets, more so with his brother, because they were out in the streets, right? And people grow on up. They go their separate ways. My cousins and them, some of them are still out in the streets. Some of them got smart and they have successful clubs and stuff around the Memphis area. But I I want to be proud of him, and I listen to what he says. Okay, and it's so hard to say, well, I'm just proud of him. People say, why can't you just say, speak well and be done with it? Hey, I could do that, except for he kind of likes to brush over. He understands why everybody is looking at Memphis, and hey, it's a bad thing and a good thing. Memphis has always been overlooked. He understands that they play a part in why everybody is looking at Memphis, but it's not necessarily a good part. So you could tell that he does not really want to dig into that because he understands what they did, right? Um, One of the things that Young Dolph was doing, hey, it seemed like to me the thing that he's doing is the exact same thing that Young Dolph was trying to do, except for Young Dolph was trying to make his artists more liberated, right? As it relates to the financial aspects and financial liberation as it relates to the music industry, right? And so, like I said, people, I was reading in the comments, folks saying folks need to give him his props and things of that nature. Hey, he had been doing this thing. Okay. I wouldn't have any issues with what he's done with his artists, except for it. I mean, it's a lot of it is just an illusion, right? Because we understand what happened as it relates to Young Dolph and how people was pushed out. One of his artists, Black Youngster, and some of the others, right? Was what happened. We understand what happened with that. And so we understand what happened with Straight Drop, and them Straight Drop could have been an up and coming artist that could have been successfully signed to CMG. So, so we know the backstory to that. We already know. He could have been signed to. He could have had the influence of making sure he was signed to Bread Gang or Heavy Camp or whatever. Right? We already know he was signed to his brother's management company, so we know the backstory of that. And so it's really hard, especially when people don't know the backstory, to take any of this seriously. You could tell even with him saying a little bit that he said about Memphis, he does not, he's always, felt like he said Memphis is just home. I know all the back roads, but he does not care for the people in Memphis because he feels like, well, I was one of the first ones. I came along before Young Dolph. I'm this is me saying this just from his air. I came along before Young Dolph, so why are people so mad that this happened? They ain't showing no loyalty to me. When Young Dolph did his own thing, also, it was other people that played an intricate part of helping to put the city of Memphis on where he's right. Folks stole the flavor and their style to include him. He took a lot of flavor from those that came before him, not just 8 Ball and MJG, but there was 3 6 Mafia. okay, who he really wanted to be like, and he still didn't show them their props. They won some type of award. I forgot what award Paul and them won. You had other artists like Tila, Project Pat, Gangsta Pat. You had all of these artists, all of these producers like Squeaky Sound made Dolph what helped to make Dolph what he is, legendary, right? And he's still brushing over all of that. All of this talent in his hometown. He's standing on the backs of a lot of these people, and he still didn't do it right. You know, I remember Trick Daddy when they asked him about Trina when she was on 106 and Park. Trick Daddy, who was played a very big part of Trina, if nothing else, he might have helped to introduce her to the music scene. And he says she gets on 106 and Park, she makes it. This is her opportunity to help other Miami rappers, okay, really help them. Because a lot of Miami rappers at that time was not getting the respect that they should, even though he had made it. He says she makes it on 106 and Park off of the backs of a lot of Miami rappers. And they asked her, who is your favorite rapper? And she says, Jay-Z. He says, now I ain't mad about that. I'm not trying to take anything from Jay-Z, but that was her opportunity to really help some other people shine that helped her to get there. So, hey, I can understand that because even though I always say that some of my favorite music, I always say it, I'm stuck on that New Orleans bounce sound. They got a bounce sound, even with some of the so-called gangster rappers, when you listen to their beats. Okay, that's the reason why I love that Manny Fresh sound so bad, so good. I mean, because he helped Cash Money with his beats. Like it still has some of that bounce flavor in it. I love that. Y'all know I was a major read in school. Okay. So I love that bounce music. But when anybody asks me, what's your favorite? I'll go anybody from out of Memphis. And after that, anybody from out of Tennessee and the surrounding areas. Okay. I have to be loyal and Memphis got a hey, Memphis is the bomb, but it's gonna always be somebody from out of Memphis, right? So hey, I ain't trying to take none from him, but hey, maybe he didn't pay for the interview. I'm just telling you that's what was put out. They pay for those interviews, and I ain't mad about that. That's promotion. When you got the money to promote yourself, that's what you do. When you got the money, I guess you put yourself in situations you feel you need to be in to better yourself. But uh, the man is a narcissist, and I hate to say that, but it is the truth, right? Um, it's unfortunate because he has a good thing going. He does. He has a good thing going. And I feel like because Yo Gotti is talented, I like his raspy sound. I always did. I'm not gonna try to. I'm not a hater, so I'm not gonna take that from him. But you ain't gonna hear me go, well, why she say that? Because I want to. That's how I feel. I don't let people control me. It's the truth. He's talented, right? But Yo Gotti got it. He has a good thing going, but guess what? He built it on sand. He built it on sand, and anything built on sand cannot stand. What they did to Young Dolph was wrong. The young Dolph was doing the same thing. He was just going another route to really create some generational wealth where there would be no chains on his artist. Okay. And they took that boy out because they understand that there's all the talent in Memphis. Young Dolph was signing a lot of people from out of Memphis. Okay, from out of Memphis. Young Dolph was getting ready to help to make these little dudes in the hood of Memphis that had nothing, generational wealth. If you don't, you could tell that he does not, he has such somewhat of a disdain for his hometown. If you weren't gonna get with him, why not get out the way? Why be jealous of him? Why be jealous of him? And that's what it was. They was jealous of him. They was jealous of him because they had a plan to sign all of these little dudes in the South. And they understood that Young Dolph was going to do it too, but he had another route. And Young Dolph had the money to push his agenda, and that is independence, and explain why you should be independent, and was going to wake these young dudes up. And people like him would not be able to take advantage of them by signing them, by promising them fame and not wealth. See, Young Dolph was a Leo like myself, so he was going to speak the truth, and he had no qualms about doing it. Okay? He was doing financial liberation for real. You don't have to be in a game like him for 20 years before you got 100 million. Okay? It was going to be some true generational wealth, and they didn't want that because they had a plan to hijack, to continuously hijack these young dudes with the help of the backing of the music industry, which is why they can pat him on the head like a good boy. But it backfired on him. It backfired on him. Because guess what? Young Dolph still got artists. Keep locking them are a product of him, and they doing the damn thing without the backings of these big record labels. And he made such a name for himself and his artist before he died, and he left the message behind, and the message still flows. And a lot of people listen to that. Okay, a lot of people still listen to that. But hey, I ain't got no problem with him. He's a Memphian. He's doing great things for himself. I could be happy for anybody doing that, but a lot of Memphians take personal what happened because Young Dolph was a Memphian. He was making Memphis look good. He was a philanthropist. He was doing great things for Memphis. And what they did to him was wrong. And that could never be right because he can't come up out that grave. So even though he's might have bought himself, he was able to pay Forbes to make himself look good. That's what people do when they got the money. They buy the average. They buy spots to make themselves look good. But in the end, we know he got $100 million deal from Interscope that he's got to pay back, and he still built his house on sand. And anything that is built on sand can't stand. The first wind that comes along blows that sand house down because it was not built on a solid foundation. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, please support the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. I love you guys. Speak with you later.